What's going on, Shadow? What's going on, y'all?
Bro, why did that game take almost 3 fucking hours, man?
It literally took 3 hours.
I
Like,
literally could have finished watching a fucking movie by the time the game was done, and it was probably still not done.
it was so annoying. Like, I guess we don't care about the point differential, huh?
To be fair, it was still better than whatever the fight happened on Netflix anyway. So, but we don't
Yeah,
talk about
yeah.
that. We don't talk about that.
My God, that was awful. That was really awful. Netflix was buffering the entire time. That was crazy. I felt like I was back in like 2005. It's crazy. But how'd y'all feel about the game tonight? Outside of that disaster in the fourth quarter.
I
That
mean,
looked like Taylor Jenkins trying to keep his job. Like if they have a losing season.
I mean,
we're
bro,
not gonna
like
have a losing season. Come
that
on.
was such a weird fourth quarter. So I scheduled a fourth quarter for 9:30 Pacific, and I just kept on pushing it back, pushing it back, pushing it back because the shit wouldn't end. Like, bro, like for one, it's an ESPN game, so there's more commercials and all of that stuff, right? And you know, so it's naturally longer, but bro, like that game was 25 minutes longer than it should have been. Like, bro, they need to cut that shit out. Like, I feel like the last 2 minutes was like in real time, it was like 20 minutes long. That was crazy. But it is what it is. But here's the thing though. We're 10-2. 10 wins, 2 losses. Now, here's a few things that I saw from this game. 33 assists off of 43 field goals. 19 turnovers tonight. I'm just going to ignore it. There's a lot of nonsense in the fourth quarter. But 9 steals tonight, 6 blocks. Uh 33 assists. That's the big number for me. We out rebounded a bigger team. Memphis is a bigger team. We out rebounded them by 2. They were crashing the glass like crazy, but these bigger teams really can't shoot the ball. They shot 7 of 42 from 3. We're probably the best 3-point shooting or defending team. So we're doing a really good job this year of just defending the 3-point line. I hope they keep that up because teams are shooting more threes than ever. And I feel like the way that we defend it, we can use that against other teams. We do force a lot of misses, right? So great stuff here, man. 10-2, but I feel like Steve kind of fucked with that game, don't y'all think?
I mean, you know who didn't play a single second in the fourth, so.
Oh,
There was some guy that wears number 30. He didn't play a single second in the fourth.
yeah. So, so I have this stat that I update anytime Steph doesn't play the fourth quarter. So this is what now, 12 game?
That wasn't a game for him to sit the fourth quarter though.
Yeah. Um, but he sat the fourth quarter in a win. Um, so Shadow, what do you think about that game?
Yeah, I think from a win perspective it was good, but I think that from a strategic perspective, I like even when the starters can go in the fourth quarter for like 45 seconds, a minute to put it away. I don't like I'll give you a perfect example. When do you ever see Steph ride the fucking bike?
Never. I've never seen that happen before.
Okay. Well, that means Steph didn't like him. He was sending a message like next time play me, bro.
He was putting ice on his knees, though, before that.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter, man. When our guys don't play, we didn't play good. Like not at all in this game. I don't care if it went to 25. We didn't play good. We were doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
You know what
The
I'm
game
saying?
was
And then we're gonna have and on top of it, it was a solid win because Memphis was 7-4. But the problem is we have a revenge game on Monday, We have a revenge game on Monday versus the Clippers. Steve Kerr's going to give them a break tomorrow, which is Saturday. And then Sunday, they're going to do like a little tiny walkthrough. Like, there's no practice. So today would have been the practice. You know what I mean? Like, who played good today? Moody?
Now the game was just very choppy, man. It was a
Yeah.
super
And
choppy game. There was no
that's not
rhythm.
good. So Steve Kerr should have let them all
Yeah.
play. Like, you know what I'm
Can I
saying?
say something about the NBA right now?
Go ahead.
That was the most blatantly rigged final 5 minutes that I've ever seen in my life.
Go ahead.
The Warriors are minus fucking 7. You get 15 free throws for Memphis in the fourth quarter. 3 bullshit techs. Buddy gets tackled twice in the final 2 minutes, and they don't call a single foul. They call a jump ball, and Memphis ends up losing by 5. What the fuck is going on with this league right now? That was one of the
You
worst
guys,
officiated games I've ever seen in my fucking life.
you guys
And
saw Steve like really letting the refs have it that game. When the game was over, he went straight for them. Like
Can I
I've
say
rarely ever
something
seen
though?
Steve do that
I mean, that is
after the game is over.
the worst 5 minutes of officiating that I've ever seen in my entire life.
I have two things to say. First off, Steph should win the DPOY because that's how good he is at defense. And two, I'm not gonna lie, the game was funny. The game was really funny to me. I I don't know, it's because I was like half paying attention at the end. I was locked in for like the first 3 quarters, and then at the end I just stopped paying attention because we were up 20. But the fouls were bad, but I didn't really care because it was just funny all around. I saw the most amount of people brick tonight than I think I ever have. It was just a bad game for both teams, but we move and we're 10-2, so I don't really have nothing to complain about.
I don't know that it was a bad game for us, but it was a bad game for them, bro. This is a
Kaminga,
problem.
Kaminga
So,
at 3 of 10.
so
Kaminga with 5 of 15.
hear me out on this, right? Like, I'm gonna talk in like generalities now. When I look at the NBA today, right? Memphis took 42 threes tonight. 42 threes tonight. They had 103 shots and 42 threes. Okay? Let me tell you this. You know the reason why our defense is as good as it is? It's not because we have like some big man down there or anything like that. Nah, that's not what it is. The teams are just shooting threes at this ridiculous rate, and we just have perimeter guys that can contest the hell out of those shots, right? So because teams take a high frequency of threes, we can like beat those teams, right? Because one, we got Steph Curry, he's an offense within himself, and then two, like teams are just going to fire up these threes every single night. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to play this math game. And Memphis, like, Memphis really doesn't have a creator like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Bane was out there, but it was like his first game back. He only played like 27 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But it's like they're firing up these threes, and they don't have a creator. It it was just ridiculous. I was just watching it. And I was like, no wonder we're at the top of the league because all of these teams are just hoisting up threes. And this was my thought like the entire summer. I'm like, I really don't see other teams out there that can run like a competent offense because I'm really not seeing it.
I mean, I think the thing was that their biggest creator, was out because they usually average 30 assists.
Yeah.
They're right up there with us. But he's not here, so they're ass. There's nobody to run ball. They was trying to ISO the entire
Well,
game.
even if you look at it this way, right? Like Jared Jackson dropped 32 today, but the problem is we could afford to let him just drop like 30 because, like Urkel alerted to, he's not really a creator, so he doesn't really make others better around him. That's why you rarely see other guys like step up when he was around. Now you can say that Desmond Bane, like he dropped like 18 or whatever, but again, it was his first game back after he has that little oblique injury, I think it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was just trying to get his rhythm back, but other than that, Jaw's out, obviously. So who else can you go to actually like create something out of nothing? Usually they just go to Jaren Jackson bully ball.
I don't know, man. This was a interesting half. I mean, you know,
Well, I mean, it is an interesting half because I believe the stat was the Grizzlies shot only 5 free throws in the first half, and then in the second half they shot like what 28 free throws.
yeah.
28 free throws to 5. I don't know, Mo. Something's off about that.
Anyway, tonight was another indicator. Every time we've been 10-2 or better, we've gone to at least the finals. So that's
Is that a stat?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
every time they started 10-2, they went to the finals.
oh,
Now,
oh!
whether
Look
they
at
win or
that.
lose is a different story. So
10-2, make the finals. I seen Manu post that the other day, right? Right. So he's probably going to do that again. Shout out Warrior Muse. So when you
I
look at that,
just put
bro.
it in Jumbotron.
Okay, yeah. So when you look at that dynamic, man, I mean, it's oh, here it is. So in 2016, they started off 12-0. They lost in the finals. 22, 11-1, one NBA Finals. 10-2, 1, 10-2, 1, 10-2, loss in 2019. Jesus Christ. Like, how do y'all feel about this? Like, y'all
By
still
the way,
don't think we can make the finals?
did you add to the
Seriously.
tally?
Huh?
The tally. You know that tweet where you said you would add it to every time Steph didn't play a fourth?
Oh yeah, that's in the Jumbotron, I believe. Yeah, it's in there. That wasn't happening by last year, by the way. So they've played 3 times. Steph has missed 3 games, and he sat in the fourth quarter 3 times. And they have one of the best differentials this year. That's great stuff, man. I don't know about y'all, but that's great stuff. I mean, even though this game was like weird, like macro standpoint, did y'all see this coming? Um, the defense I saw coming, the offense surprised me. The offense definitely
Yeah, I didn't
surprised
think we'd be a top 3 offense. I'm not
me.
gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah, apparently we know what we're talking about because I was saying that because bro, I'm just looking at these other teams. I was looking at Phoenix, right? Phoenix is the one team that I was looking at. And people are like, they're going to be a good team. Minnesota is a playing team right now, or yeah, they're a playing team. Memphis is a playing team. Sacramento's LA is a playing team, right? And then you have Dallas at 12th, right? So this shit is just going to go on all year long, right? So I just need us to fucking take care of these games, man. Like legit take care of these games because a lot of this is winnable. And I seen Steph do something interesting tonight. I think at halftime he had like 3 shots. He had like 3 shots at halftime. And then everybody else was getting involved and all of that stuff. But this game, they played good defense tonight. But the other team did miss a lot of shots tonight. They missed a
Ur-
whole lot of shots tonight.
Urkel, you see that Rockets squad that we beat? They're
Yeah.
currently third in the fucking West.
Yeah, so when the strength of schedule adjustments gets made, right? Like they're 10-4 right now. And I told y'all that they were a good team, right? So remember, we had that squad down and out without Steph, right? So there's a couple of indicators in here, man. I mean, they fought back or whatever, but again, Steph wasn't on the court. So I think they're gonna be in the mix. So we went through them. Then Washington, Boston, Cleveland, OKC, and then we just saw Dallas, which went to the finals last year. Like, I don't know how much better you can, how much of a better stretch of games that you can have because OKC, everybody and their mama thought that they were just going to run away with the conference and all of that shit, and we went in there and we beat their asses. You know what I'm saying? Chet got hurt. Unfortunate that that happened, but I watched them play Phoenix tonight, and they absolutely strapped them up, bro. Like they. It was like men amongst boys tonight. The way that they were locking up Phoenix tonight. So I mean, yeah, KD didn't play, but still, locked up Phoenix tonight. I think Phoenix, like, that first quarter, I doubt they even scored 15 points. Um, so a lot of these teams that we didn't expect to do anything, or we expected to do something, they're actually not as good as we think. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Timberwolves, they went to the conference finals last year. Are you impressed by them?
No.
They're kind of meh. I mean,
Yeah, they're mid.
they had
They're
to
mid.
literally survive a 60-point outburst from De'Aaron Fox tonight in overtime, and it took all the effort that they can get to hold him off. Honestly,
And
Yeah.
I genuinely think they're mid because they don't have Cat. Cat was a reason why they were so good. People were talking about their offense, but Cat was it. It was Hat
hmm
and Cat.
Yeah, this is an interesting night tonight. So we play again on what, Tuesday?
Monday
Sorry,
Clippers.
Monday.
Monday. Yes.
I
So
mean,
that's
Hey,
a
first
a
look at
road
the
game with the Clippers.
first game at their place, new arena.
Yeah, man. Um, we got to win that game, and then we have Atlanta, bro. I was looking at Dyson Daniels tonight, bro. He's had like 4 games in a row where he's had like 6 steals.
Like the dude is out of his mind, bro. Like he's early front runner for first team All NBA defense right now.
Yeah, bro. Him, Wiggins, and Draymond would be a nasty pair, man.
Yeah. So you see guys like Dyson Daniels again because of the way that teams are shooting the damn three ball, bro. You have to have people that can get out there, you know.
And they
You
And
both
also
got
think
big
Dyson
six
Daniels can help out the Pelicans right now with the way their squad is looking?
so he played for the Pelicans last year, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he got traded
yeah,
for
but they
DeJounte Murray.
fleeced the Pelicans. It was DeJounte Murray for Daniels and 2 firsts.
Yeah, let me tell you something.
Daniels
Dyson Daniels would probably suit them better than DeJounte Murray would. You know what I'm saying? Like last year
I,
when people was like, DeJounte Murray, trade for him, trade for him. I was like, well, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, sometimes like you just need certain guys to fill certain roles, man. And it's like, I don't want no fucking guard, bro. Like even us, we were talking about trading for, and I was like, why? Another guard? Like that don't make no sense to me. So it's like I'm just looking at this dynamic and I'm just looking at our team defensively and bro, like they're playing some hellacious defense. Hellacious defense. I hope that oh by the way, Lindy got hurt tonight. I pray it's not anything serious.
Yeah, I hope it's just a
I
hyperextension.
don't think it will be. Even though I'm saying that now, but I don't
Yeah.
think it will be.
I mean,
my guess would be he's out a month. That's been my guess.
he's
You
probably
think he's out a month?
I
Nah, I
think he's
think
out 2 weeks, at least a month, maybe.
Yeah.
But it depends how severe it is, though.
I mean, he was walking under his own power to the locker room, like maybe sort of a light jog. So maybe that's something to be encouraged by. I don't know.
Hugo, how severe you think that injury is? Bro, sometimes you can't tell, man. Clay jogged on back to the court, dog. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it's just like a hyperextension, maybe like
yeah.
a week or two. But
It looked funny though, bro. I could barely watch it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
I just wanted to mention that Kyle, man, he just reminds me of like a Sean Livingston type that we really missed, like just like a calming presence.
yeah.
So he's definitely Dunleavy did a good one there. So, but hopefully Waters is all right. But I mean, keep playing 12 guys, so you know, kind of keep up for that.
I mean, shit. Like we've had like 2 of those guys fall in consecutive games. You know what I'm saying? So maybe we need them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, now it's down to 10. If you want
yeah,
to call that rotation, now it's down to 10 probably.
yeah. But I mean,
But that shouldn't be how you shorten the rotation. But
yeah.
that aside,
It's
Yeah, I mean, it's like a huge puzzle. So it's like you kind of need everybody because like we don't have like that second big star, but you just have all these good pieces that kind of fits together. So it's kind of
yeah.
it works well that way, I think.
This is what Bontemps said. Tim Bontemps. He's like, the Warriors are going to go 4-1 against Celtics, Cavs, Thunder, Mavs, and Grizzlies, and are going to be 10-2 and tied with OKC for the best record in the West. What a first week for Golden State this has been. People are acting like they're shocked. They should listen to Space Gang more because Space Gang was telling y'all the entire summer that this squad was going to be good. And everybody was like, nope, they're going to be trash and we're going to be the ninth and 10th seed and it was destined for us. And Steph was going to request a trade and all of this shit. Did you hear that nonsense that people saying? Steph was going to request a trade? Bro, Steph sat the fourth quarter for the third time. That's an indicator, by the way. If you were around in them days, that's what used to happen.
I think
We used to beat teams.
I
Bro,
think the issue is
what
like
I
people.
don't
It's so misleading, right? Because they actually had a better year record wise last year than they did 2 years ago when they made the second round, and that was with Draymond missing what 25 games. So
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. But people like, oh no, context doesn't matter. You still
yeah,
lost. But it
you just
Yeah.
does.
clean up the bullshit. That's like 5 games right there. It's a 50-win team last year. You just clean out the Clay ego-ness. Get some two get bench guys, and it should be a 50-win team. Like it really should be. So it shouldn't really be that surprising. So, like
Bro,
they love
but you
writing
know
them
that's
off
not
early.
what people are saying though, right? Like,
Of course, they love to write them off early. I don't know. I don't. It's like, it'll be the Lakers. It'll be like, oh man, LeBron and AD, like
You know
they're.
the most puzzling thing about this is that a lot of these people were like either they love the Warriors or they hate watching the Warriors, like they're just hate watching, right?
mhm.
They've been hate watching this team for like almost like 10 years now. And the fact that they still don't understand how this team functions is still baffling to me. No wonder these people want to write them off because they still don't know what the fuck they're watching. But it's been almost 10 years of this shit now.
I mean, really, like,
Like, how much more evidence do you need?
no, but it's like we watch. Here's what the problem was last year. The problem was they couldn't defend last year, right? Like we had Saric in there, and they couldn't
Absolutely.
defend for shit. You know what I'm saying? And I was just saying it the entire time. Like, first of all, I don't know what kind of basketball they were trying to play last year, but the entire league was just weird. And that first 3 months was all right. I was looking at a stat like the first 3 months of last year. So October, November, December. All right, call it the first 4 months, right? And 10 of the 12 best offenses ever existed those first 3 months. You know what I'm saying? And I was looking at that and I was like, why? This is a joke. This is a carnival circus, what we're watching. And then we went to the All-Star game. And then during the All-Star game, they were like, this is ridiculous. What is this? And everybody got embarrassed. That's probably the best thing that happened to us in a while, that dudes were just dogging it and everybody was complaining about the product, right? And then all of a sudden, 20% less fouls started. The game got more physical all of a sudden. And I like where the game is at. You know what I'm saying? Like now people are going to have to figure out how to score. Because I was watching that game with Phoenix tonight and Phoenix just couldn't produce like any type of offense. You know what I'm saying? Because OKC was just guarding. You know what I'm saying? And I just know, right? Like when we get to the playoffs, the type of thing that's going to happen because Steph is going to put teams in such a dilemma this year, right? Where he's going to force them to pick, and like even tonight, there was a first there's a play like in the first quarter where Wiggins and Steph were crossing paths. You know what I'm saying? And Steph just cut up top. Wiggins got to the basket. He got like a wide open dunk. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of shit that Steph is going to do this year on top of the defense that we're going to play. You know what I'm saying? And bro, he played 26 minutes and he had 13 points. Like, what is that? Is that a Steve Kerr thing or what? Like, so one, two, three, four, five, six guys in double figures. Trace had nine. Like, everybody was getting their stats tonight. Um, Steve better chill on this shit though, because next thing you know, like Steph is gonna be like in the MVP race, and they're gonna be like, well, his team is loaded, he can't win, like that dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? So he better fix up. But winning the last game the way that they did was impressive, and then you know, a win is a win is a win, man. But
funny. The thing with Steve, man, is just like 'cause Steph is just so valuable. He realizes like if he cannot play Steph,
Yeah,
he's just not gonna do it because
yeah.
it's like sometimes it's just not worth it, you know.
So why is Draymond out there then? You know what I'm saying? Like that to me was just bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, but Draymond, I guess he's a little different because he's not, he's not as fragile. I don't want to say fragile, but he's just not as small as Steph is. So, and he's all,
No, but
and
no,
they,
no,
they,
no,
can-
no,
they,
no.
and they,
See,
and they, and they can kind of live with Draymond, not playing, here and there. They have enough pieces, but even with Steph out, I mean, granted they have pieces with Steph out, but Steph is just he's just the anchor. Like you just can't
yeah.
like if you can live with him on the bench, then yeah, your stats will suffer a little bit, but in the long run, it's for the better.
Um, Let me ask y'all this, everyone that's up on stage. How do people feel about the team, like overall? Because I look on the TL and I don't get the sense that people are happy about the team. It's almost like they're expecting another shoe to fall. You know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna suck all of a sudden. But what do you like based on everything that you're seeing on the TL, do you think people are saying like, that oh, we're gonna win or what? Because bro, let me tell you this. I've been watching this team for a really long time. Every single indicator is there. There is not one indicator that's not there. Every single one is there. So how do y'all feel about that?
Yo, can you hear me?
I
Yeah.
feel like Taylor Jenkins is
Yeah.
a certified bitch.
Well, yeah.
Well, just my 2 seconds on what you just asked, and then I'll leave.
Yeah,
I
go
feel
ahead,
like
man.
people are like brainwashed by the media, most like the Jasons, and because if you take a look at this team compared to the 2022 team with Bialita and all those guys, this team is way better.
Mm,
So people not being sure about this team, I don't know, it amazes me because I feel like this team can go all the way to the finals and maybe win also. I don't think we need a trade. If the trade is there, we can get one. But it should be like a Yanis or a bona fide superstar, not just any
yeah.
trade. But
Me and you are
then this
speaking
team
the
is way
same
better than
language, bro. Like
2022.
like
Yeah,
I'm not just making a trade to make a trade. You know what I'm saying? And people were telling
exactly.
me like types of trades that were on the table. And in retrospect, like when I'm looking at that and I'm just visualizing like those types of players being in here, I think this is the better route. You know what I'm saying? Like I think we can balance this shit out. And then when we have a game like we did, on Wednesday, you know what I'm saying? Like, or Tuesday, or whichever night that was, I feel like I feel like Steph is good enough where he can pull that out. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, he played what, 35 minutes that last game. This game, he played
Uh-huh.
26 minutes. So the, 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 if we have like 12 games like this, right?
Yeah,
I think that is going to mean a lot come playoff time. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm just looking at the standings now. Dallas is in 12th, bro. Like they're literally in 12th. You know what I'm
They're in
saying?
Bro,
shambles.
their defense is absolutely
They're
fucking
in
awful.
shambles.
Their defense
Did
is awful.
didn't I tell y'all that their defense was going to be fried? Didn't I tell y'all that, right? Like,
Yeah.
but
Bro, they literally lost to the fucking Jazz because Luca literally fell asleep on the last play of the game, which got John Collins a wide open dunk.
yo, somebody reposted that. I think it was Warriors World who reposted that. That was one of the worst plays I've ever seen, bro. Like for a game that they needed to win. You know what I'm saying? Because they lost the night before, right? So
The Mavs
you
essentially went winless on the road trip, by the way. They lost all 4 games within a single possession, essentially.
did you see what happened like in that fourth quarter? So I had Klay Thompson on one of my tickets, right? And I had Klay Thompson for 4 rebounds. Klay was the only person that needed to hit with the 4 rebounds, right? And like he was out the entire quarter, right?
Yeah,
and
he
he
got
only
benched,
came in.
and
Bro, that
Kyrie
was
didn't even play.
so. Hold on. You mean to tell me you kicked and stomped your way out of town, and then I have like these fucking Clay stands attacking me every day on the TL, and then he goes somewhere else and he's getting sat in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, and
That's
like I said,
ridiculous.
Kyrie didn't play that game. He was out.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy too. He did hit that clutch. He did hit a important three with like 30 seconds
No,
left.
he did hit the shot, right? But
Yes,
it's
yes.
like, so why is he sitting then? You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy to me that he went somewhere else, took less money, and now he's getting benched when Kyrie didn't play. That's insane.
Yeah, he was getting benched for Quentin Grimes and Jaden Hardy down in
So
the
it's
corner.
like, I say that to say all of these teams are bunched up, right? Like the Spurs lost tonight to the bum ass Lakers. They're going to fall down to earth pretty soon here. Sacramento, like all of these teams are just bunched around, and I don't think it's going to change this year. You know what I'm saying? KD is out. He has a calf thing. You know how that works. That's a couple of weeks, right? And then Denver, who knows what's happening with them? And I'm just
Denver
looking at
lost
the net
Aaron Gordon for a
rating,
couple of
bro,
weeks.
and it's like +2, +3, +2. And I just feel like all of these teams are just going to be bunched with each other, and I think what's going to happen is that it's either you can play defense or you can't, because I think we are at a point with offense now that there's nothing else that you can turn. There is no type of strategy that you can run to have the offense be better than it is. Like, I don't think there is a threshold of more threes that you can shoot. You understand what I'm saying? Like, say if you took like 50 threes, or you took, I don't know, 70 threes versus 50, like, I don't think that's going to make you any better. I think we're at the point of diminishing returns with offense now. I really don't think teams can get any better. Now, in terms of defense, that's where you're going to separate yourself. So my opinion is any team that plays defense in this league, those are going to be the contenders. And if you go and you look at Basketball Reference or wherever, and you correlate net rating to defense, there's a strong correlation there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's going to happen. Like if you don't play defense, you ain't going to win, man. And we're one of those teams that plays defense. So we'll see how it goes. Paperboy, what's going on?
Bro, good morning, this gang.
What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. I'm just chilling.
What do you feel about the game tonight, or the
Is
season in general?
Bala taxing fights on the other?
Say what?
Is it taxing fights? What game are you talking about? Sorry.
Bro, I ain't talking about the Tyson fight. That was a disaster. That was an absolute disaster. He's
Y'all literally got people watching that shit over fucking basketball tonight. That is
bro,
absolutely funny to me.
he came up here wanting to know about the Tyson fight, bro. Like that shit was horrible. First of all, could you even watch the fight? Like, bro, the shit kept on buffering the entire time.
Bro, that is literally a Netflix like PR disaster right there. Like that was
Bro,
straight up unacceptable, dude. It's 2024. How is that shit acceptable by modern
it
day standards, man?
it felt like I was back in like 2004 where I had shitty internet. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell was that? Like,
Yeah, back when streaming really wasn't even a thing.
you know what I'm saying? Like when all of us had like we had like the crappy dial-up shit. You know what I'm saying? That was horrible. But do you think it's us and OKC in the West Finals?
It depends who OKC has to play to get there. Because if they have to play a team that doesn't match well with them, they might not make it there.
So which team do you think could actually beat them? Say, exclude us for a second, right? Because
Sure.
the way that I see it right now, we're either going to be the 1 seed or the 2 seed, barring any crazy injury, right? I think we're going to be the 1 seed or the 2 seed this year. So do you think it's going to be us and them in the West Finals?
As of right now, that's a very likely thing. I definitely could see that, but again, like I said, I'm not sure who the Thunder are gonna play in, like, let's say the second round. Maybe if they play the Suns,
Yeah.
then depending on how the Suns look when they're fully healthy, that might be a challenge for them. But they can definitely beat the Suns. But again, I'm not sure. I'm not saying the Thunder are bad by any stretch of the imagination. I said they were like before the season started, they might win 60 games like pretty easily. But now with their injuries with injuries to Chet, I mean they're still looking pretty strong with their micro ball
Yeah.
without Chet. So
No, but here's the thing about micro ball. It doesn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really doesn't matter because it's not like you can just go big and you can just beat them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to run some type of, decent offense anyway, don't you?
yeah, which is why I was very concerned that their offense is still like almost bottom 10. Like that's a big alarming factor, especially when they're fully healthy. When they were fully healthy, they were
Bro,
still a bottom 10 offense, but they're like top 3 in defense.
I
So
don't think it's going to matter.
at some point, like you got to have a better offense.
Nah.
As good as your defense is, and I love them having an elite defense, sometimes, man, you got to be able to score like
No.
when the trenches get really, really down. That's what got them got last year. They just
So
couldn't
right
score.
now they're 11th on offense, right? Well, if you're talking about the playoffs, that's another story. But if you look at OKC right now, they're 11th on offense. Their defense is number
Oh,
one.
did I say bottom? I meant top. My bad.
Yeah, no.
Barely top 10.
Bro, with how many few games they are, like it changes from night to night, right? So they could have been like, I don't know, 17th or 18th the damn night before, and then they had like a really good game and they got boosted up. You know what I'm saying? But like just watching them, right? Like when we were playing them, they looked like a very one-dimensional team. Well, we made them look one-dimensional.
Well, because they try to play micro ball against the Warriors, and
Yeah,
when was the last time that was successful at all?
you're you're not going to play micro ball against us and I'm win because we are built to we're built to play micro ball. Now, the teams that we're going to struggle against are the teams that have like a versatile big. You know what I'm saying? Like a Bam or that kid in Cleveland, Mobley, right? Dudes like that. That's where that's going to hurt you, I think. But outside of that, I really don't see. I'm just looking at the teams and I'm just looking at possible matchups, and I'm like, you know, co-
I hate to say it, but I still don't think OKC matches up well with like the Lakers yet. I mean, AD really causes them a lot of issues, so it's going to be interesting to see the matchups because I think they still struggle kind of like us with teams with size. I
yeah.
mean, even though they sometimes I guess they for some reason have Denver's number, but I think
Well, the thing is,
Denver,
like,
yeah.
the thing is, I don't think like that really is like the biggest differential because I think their guard play, like OKC's guard play, is like so much better than the Lakers, anyways. So that AD impact has to essentially neutralize the entire guard play of OKC.
I have to see how Harkenstein looks.
Yeah, speaking of that, yeah, we haven't even seen him hit the floor yet. So we don't even know what their full strength really what they look like because essentially Hartenstein is their 5 and Chet's gonna slide to the 4.
Yo, can I ask one question?
Go ahead.
I know we are past the Clay saga drama, whatever you can call it,
Yeah.
but do we really think that Clay got traded because of the money? Because I don't think it's because of the money.
When he signed that contract, it told me it was never about the money.
It wasn't about the
Even
money.
even Steve told everybody, yeah, it wasn't about the money. He just needed to get away from here.
Yeah, he was miserable, man. I mean, that's pretty much what it
As
come
much
down
as I
to.
like, sort of like wanted him somewhere else, I just wanted him to have a right mindset. Like if he's
Mhm.
happy, then I'm happy, no matter where he is. Because at the end of the day, you can't erase history, and that was what it's all about.
Yeah, Steve So Dubs 408 posted a clip with Steve, and Steve was like yelling at the refs. Did y'all see that clip? I am threw it in the jumbotron.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
when has Steve ever like? Yeah, the game was already over. Like the final buzzer sounded, and he still went harping at the refs after the game. Now, thankfully, I don't think you could get a tech after the game.
Yeah.
He might get fined though. I don't know.
He was like screaming at the ref. I was like, yo.
But yeah, because of that entire fourth quarter, the entire like sort of final half of the fourth quarter, essentially what happened.
Yeah, that was
He was
kind of wild.
frustrated, but yeah, even Draymond got tossed, even though that ended up being inconsequential in the end because they still won
Yeah.
the game. The game was already in hand when he got tossed. So
Yeah, the refs were doing weird shit in that fourth quarter, man. Like, I was like,
or even
yo.
starting in the third quarter, there was just foul after foul after foul, whistle after whistle after whistle. I'm like, dude, I literally was like done washing the fucking dishes, and the game literally didn't get past like 2 minutes yet.
Didn't it feel like that game felt like the OKC game?
Curl was
You know?
heated. Sorry, I just saw that clip. Curl was heated.
Yeah. Bro, he was pissed off, bro. He was like, he looked like he was ready to scrap.
Moody had to hold him
That's
back.
kind of wild, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. They had to hold him back. I was like, damn. Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie to you. This 10-2 start, this is a great sign. And I'm just looking at all the teams, like all the good teams that we just, bro. Houston is 9-4 right now. Okay, 9-4. So we beat that team without Steph. By the way, we beat Washington. We beat the Celtics. We're not supposed to beat the Celtics, by the way. But again, like,
we beat the Thunder.
you know, and the Thunder, like, bro. And I don't see any excitement. What are y'all waiting? Like sometimes I wonder if like people actually watch the league, bro. Like these other teams aren't that great. You know what I'm saying? There's
Bro,
nothing
the only
out
thing
there.
they're gonna say like, "Oh, but you lost to the Cavs." I'm like, okay, name one team that has beaten the Cavs this season.
That's what I'm saying, right? They're
Which
13
team
and
has
0
beaten
right
the Cavs
now.
this season? Then, if that was your argument,
They're
I'm winning.
13 and 0. Right? So and even Cleveland, like I still don't believe that they're gonna go to the finals. You know what I'm saying? I gotta see it. So I think we got a great shot to make it to the finals this year, bro. Finals, no. I think we have a great shot to get Steph 5, dog. Like a great shot this year. Because I'm just thinking about like potential matchups in a playoff series. And Dallas made the finals last year, bro. Dallas made the finals. Look at Dallas right now. You know what I'm saying?
Dallas were the 5th seed, by the way. They were the 5th seed, and they made
Bro,
the finals.
Everybody thought that Dallas was going to come into the year and just like Luca was going to win MVP and all of this stuff, and it just looks like the same shit over and over again, right? So, I mean, yeah, I get that one of their guys is out and all of this stuff, but should they really look like that though?
I mean, when you have 3 guys on your perimeter that aren't specialized in defense whatsoever, of course it's gonna look like that. Like we weren't shocked when I said their
Yeah.
defense was gonna be awful. Like I think everyone saw that coming, but also that is affecting their offense too. Like their offense isn't even like eye break of like sort of mind boggling. Like
Yeah.
it's just meh. That's all I can say. It's meh.
Oh no, bro. But I need y'all to get excited, dog, because I think we can make the finals this year. And we can win it because um I was just looking at Steph and and it's not even forget like how we look on the court and the record and all of that. But have y'all just been listening to any Draymond podcast these days? Or any podcast that he's been on, period? Because um he was on what's the dude that plays for the Niners? Whose podcast that he was on? It's light skinned dude. Warner. So he was on
Fred
Fred
Warner?
Warner's, yeah. He was on his podcast, right? And he was just talking about like the process of winning a championship. You know what I'm saying? And the last time I heard him talk like that and with like that type of conviction was the year that we actually won the title. You know what I'm saying? And he sounds the same exact way. And he was just breaking down like how, Jerry Stackhouse is doing something different with them on defense. You know what I'm saying? And he has them on like a grade defensively, right? And he he was just saying all of this stuff, and then I'm just watching how Steph was playing tonight, right? And it's like, it's not that Steph was lazy. It's almost like Steph was like, I'm just gonna get everyone involved tonight. Like last game, I had 30, and this game, I'm just gonna get everyone involved tonight. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what? If you're getting everyone involved and they're playing defense like that, like what the hell is going to happen when we get down the road? You know what I'm saying? And I don't see another team doing that. Like KD is out right now and Phoenix is just getting demolished, right? And I'm just looking at these other teams just struggle, right? And I don't even know what to make of it.
The standings are way too fucking close for comfort for the. Besides, like the Warriors and the Thunder, it's like
Yeah.
all bunched together. Like you got 4 teams that have 4 losses together, and then everyone else is like 6 or 7 losses together.
Okay, so the Atlanta Hawks.
Hold on. I'll let you.
Yeah.
I'll let you go.
All right, go.
You got the 12th seed right now is the Mavs, and they're 5-7. But honestly, like the Blazers are like right next to them too, which is very funny if you think about it. And the Spurs aren't going to go anywhere. They're like threatening for a play-in spot the whole year. And then you got the rest of the teams, like you got the T-Wolves, the Grizzlies, the Kings, and the Clippers. Like they're all bunched up together. Like they're always like win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1, or win 2 and then lose 1. Like it's always like very average, I guess you can say. Like I
You
don't
know
know
what
how
I'm
else.
afraid of? Here's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that, all right, okay, here's an exercise for you. OKC has a 102 defense right now, which is wild. They're going to fall down eventually, but having a 102 defense is insane. They're a plus 12 right now. Plus 12. The number 2 defense is a plus 4, right? The number 3 defense is a plus 5. The number 4 defense is a plus 8. The 5th defense, which is us, before tonight, of course, plus 11. 6 plus 11. 7 plus 11, right? So I'm I'm just looking at all of these teams and I'm like, there is no way, absolutely no way you can function in today's NBA if you don't have a top defense. I think all of this just correlates back to whether or not you can have a good defense. You know what I'm saying? And then when you just look at all of the numbers and all of that, the biggest number this year that is not going to correlate to people, but it should. It's effective field goal percentage defended, right? So, what teams shoot against you essentially, right? So here are the top 5 teams: Oklahoma City, us, the Rockets, the Grizzlies, Orlando, Dallas, Minnesota, right? So all of the teams that you expect to be good defensively, those are the teams. And most of those teams are pretty much contenders right now. You know what I'm saying? Even Orlando, for instance, like Orlando.
Dude, that is actually crazy.
That's
Orlando,
what I'm saying, bro. So
they have the number 2 defense, and they've been missing Paolo all this time.
they've won 5 games in a row, by the way.
Yeah,
You
they
understand
won
what I'm
5 games
saying?
in a row without Paolo. That's crazy.
5 games in a row. So like some teams are just leaning defense, you know what I'm saying? And but here's the thing though. If all of these teams are just gonna go defense, like look at OKC for instance. Did they look like they had like any secondary shot creation or anything like that outside of Shea the other night?
I
They
mean,
don't have.
we
They're
pretty much
missing
cut those
playmaking.
entire. Oh wait, oh
They're
sorry.
missing playmaking, right?
They're missing
Yeah, they're missing.
playmaking. Like they have. So they have shot creators like SGA and J Dub, but like
Yeah.
they don't have like the dudes who can like connect, like make like you see what Podge was doing tonight, where Podge was just like getting the ball up, facilitating, getting us organized and structured. like who's doing that? Like Aaron Wiggins or like Lou Dort? Like they're not doing that, right? So
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
What's
and
their backup point
also
guard? Do they have one?
no, they don't. They don't. I mean, it's really. I mean, their backup point guard. Let's look at their roster. I mean, look at the Thunder. They got Casey Wallace, and he's been
He's
like,
not really a point guard. He's more of a
but
wing.
he's been like coming on and off the bench really. So he's like a guard. But like they don't. They have a lot of shooting guards, but I don't think they have like any true, um, like point guards outside of maybe SGA. So let's look at their roster. So their roster is, I mean, I guess you could say their only other point guard is Caruso. The problem is Caruso is, I don't think he's like a playmaker like that. Like he's a connector like Pods. He's not a like an initiator. He's not an advantage creator, right? And I think even Pods can get 2 feet in the paint better than Caruso can, which sounds insane, but I think Pods has a little bit more shiftiness and more of a layered handle than Caruso does. Caruso doesn't really break you down like that. He's more of like a drive and kick or extra pass type of guy, like good to great. So like okay. Have you guys looked at the Thunder's offensive rating? It's not. And again, the sample's growing. It's not like this is a fluke. And even before the Chet injury, which he'll be back in however long, a few months or whatever. But even before the Chet injury, like their offensive rating was like middle of the pack. It wasn't. It wasn't good. It just wasn't like. It wasn't elite. They clearly, as crazy as it sounds, they actually do miss Josh Giddey's playmaking. They do. Like they miss that player that can facilitate and set up the offense and with court vision. And Giddey averaged like 8 assists for them last year or something around there.
He
They don't have.
was any 6'9" guy that can handle and that can play make and see over the defense. In this league, they're gonna have like an impact, right? Now his problem is that
Can't
he
shoot.
couldn't really, yeah, he couldn't shoot and he couldn't stay on the court defensively, right? Like a guy
Right.
like that, um, I don't know if he would have worked with us because he's not a great uh defender, you know what I'm saying? But his playmaking for us would have been fucking elite, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, weren't we targeting Josh Giddey?
Yeah, I think we looked at him during the
He
draft.
was taking one pick ahead.
Yeah.
If not Kaminga.
Right.
I think they would have drafted him if he was
They
on the
would have.
board, you
They
know?
would.
Probably would.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that playmaking,
So like we have
and
a couple of guys like that. We have
yeah,
Pods. We have Pods and Melton. A bit like forget Steph because we know Steph can do it. Pods and Melton are two guys that can legit like those
yeah,
two guys would arguably be like OKC's second best playmaker. Like or you could say maybe I mean if you view J Dub as a playmaker, I don't really view him as that. He's more of a scorer to me because I don't think he's a guy that's really making plays for his teammates. Can he do it? Sure, but is that what he does? Not really. So I think Pods or like Melton would literally be their second best playmaker. You know, and
yeah.
and Melton especially, bro. Melton can give you. He can. I mean, he had a game earlier this year. He had like 6 or 7 assists. I mean, he's a legit like combo. He can play on and off the ball. He can pass. He can rebound. He can shoot. Like if the Thunder had Melton over Caruso, I think Caruso's actually not a great fit for them, and they're not even using him well. They're not even using him correctly. You know?
Yeah, you were talking about this a couple days ago on Playback too.
Yeah.
Like
No,
you
I don't
just
think
seem
they
like you
are.
fit.
Yeah, I don't think they. So he looks bad, but they're not using him right. Like he's being used as like this forward. Like they're using him as like a forward almost, not like an actual guard. It doesn't make any sense. But it's because they have this logjam. They have Aaron Wiggins, Caruso, Casey Wallace, and Lou Dort's not like this 6'8" guy. Like he's like 6'4",
They're
6'5".
essentially playing Lou Dort at power forward all season, but
Yeah.
until Isaiah Hartenstein gets back.
Yeah. So the positional size thing, man. And they don't even have any true wings. Like their wings are what? Like Wiggins is like 6'6", Dort's like 6'4", 6'5". I mean, who else do they really have that's like a wing? That's why Wiggins and JK kind of eat against them because they can't really guard the 6'8" dudes that have the height and length advantage and the size, just size.
Yeah.
So These teams, man, like even Boston. Boston has issues. Boston has some defensive issues. Now we'll see what they look like when KP comes back, but they're not quite. And some of it is just like focus stuff, but it almost feels like they're not locking in possession by possession the way we are, right? And you can say, well, that's because we got to prove ourselves, and Boston's already a like the defending champs, and that's fine. But these championship habits are built, man, early in the year. So just saying, like, you get used to giving up blow bys and open threes. Don't be surprised if a team takes a couple games from you in the playoffs and extends it to. It's kind of what Denver did. Like Denver was had all these bad habits last year coming off their championship run, and then everyone was surprised when Minnesota beat them. It's like, what did you think was going to happen? Minnesota was the better defensive team. They played tougher. They played harder. They were more athletic. And they built better habits throughout the year. And the Nuggets, they kind of just they fell into these habits, man. Defensively, they weren't as good of a defensive team. So that's really the key. It's the two-way play. But
Mm-hmm.
I think we're a better two-way team than OKC. I think we're a better two-way team than virtually any team, even Cleveland, which I know they're 14-0 right now. Cleveland's defense isn't what people think it is. Like, their offense is legit. They have the number one offense in the NBA. Their offense is for real. I'm not sure what their defense really is. Like, I'm not sure. I think they're around like top 10-ish, but I don't think they're like a really great defense. They're good, but they're not great. So I don't know if I can consider them like that elite of a two-way team. Now, offensively, they're elite, but defensively, we'll
Bro.
see. And then what about Boston? I think Boston's the biggest threat. Would you agree? Out of any team, like a healthy Boston?
So it's hard for me to say because, like, I have a different opinion about Cleveland. Cleveland, they're doing something different, right? So y'all know how I feel about bigs, right? But it almost feels like Mobley is about to take a AD type of leap. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And to be honest with you, like a player like Mobley, AD, Bam, guys like that, those are the perfect centers that you need for this era. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see if you can defend in that ball screen and you can defend in space as a big, you are leaps and bounds. Like you have an advantage essentially, right? And I feel like that's what Cleveland has right now because all right, Mitchell and Garland are just shooting the fucking shit out of the ball, right? But then you watch this types of things that Mobley is doing, and Jared Allen, especially Mobley, right? He's doing some crazy stuff, bro, defensively. But I still got to see because you just never know, right? Like you see all these teams running this 120 offense and all of this shit, and it looks cute in the regular season, but then you get into like the playoffs and you get into situational basketball and then you just watch them fold. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it happen to many teams that we thought would have been great. So I still got to see what they look like, going forward. But a 13-0 start, bro, that's an indicator, man. I mean, like that's and they're probably the best shooting team in the league too. Yeah, they are. So matter of fact, they're better than the next closest team by like 4 points. So effective field goal, they're like 60%. 60% effective field goal as a team, that's fucking outrageous, bro. Like,
But if I know you've watched their games, and I
yeah,
have too. Like their shot making is kind of on it. Like
it's a
it's
crazy level,
it's
bro.
kind of insane. Like it
Yeah,
almost like there's no way for 82. Like they're going to hit maybe a wall at some point offensively. Let's see if their defense can make up for that. Because if they have games where like because there have been games where they've maybe not shot as many threes or shot
yeah.
as well, but like even on an off night they're shooting like 36, 37%, which is like
Their
well
their
above
their
average.
shot making is outrageous, right? And it's like then I look at their schedule, bro, and it's just a fucking Eastern Conference. It's just awful. Toronto,
How is the
Detroit,
East
Washington.
worse this year?
You know
And
what I'm
all
saying?
that
Like,
talent has migrated east. There's a whole bunch of talent migration to the east, and it's even worse than last year.
so then, like, Brooklyn had them on the ropes, right? And then uh, Brooklyn blew that game. Then they played Chicago, and then they played Philly, and we know what happened in Philly, bro. Like Embiid and fucking Paul George are resting apparently. Like the bro. When I tell you that we dodged that Paul George bullet, dog, we dodged that fucking Paul George bullet,
Bro, a couple of days ago, I'm pretty sure he was outplayed by Jared McCain.
bro. Paul George looks like he's just collecting a check at this point, bro. Like when I tell you we dodged a bullet, we dodged a bullet. Like and I was always skeptical of guy that is 6'8" and a team just wants to just get rid of. You know what I'm saying? Like they got rid of him for nothing. Like when do you ever see a team just let a guy just walk? You know what I'm saying? No type of no convincing, no nothing. And then you watch him and it's like, really? He's load managing. All right, cool. I'm glad we didn't give up a bunch of shit for him. Bro, only top 10 players, man. Um yeah, so I'm happy we didn't trade for him. That would have been a disaster. And now I'm just looking at who they have coming up. They're 13-0 right now. So you got Chicago, the Hornets, and then Boston. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like there's just
I
a
was about to
bevy
ask.
of
I was about to ask you, like, outside of the Warriors, which teams have they faced that have like a really good defense, though, like a top 10 defense almost?
so conventionally you would think that or oh shit, they played Orlando. So they played Orlando, they mollywopped the Lakers, they mollywopped us, but bro, it's a bunch of Eastern Conference shit teams. You know what I'm saying? So we were a solid win. Like you can't take that away from them. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but
Like they
that's why I asked. Like
right.
outside of us, like
Um,
as one of the good defensive teams, which teams have they played that have like a really really good defense? You
the
said
o-
Orlando, but I'm pretty sure like
Orlando can't score, right?
yeah,
So
Orlando can't score.
but I mean, the only team outside of us, like nobody, bro. Like I guess you could say the Knicks. They played the Knicks, but like I'm looking at their Chicago Knicks and then the Hornets, and it's like I'm just looking at it like, hold up, they beat the Bulls tonight, right?
Yeah, they beat the Bulls.
Yeah, so they're what now? They're what?
They're
14 and 0?
14-0. Yeah.
Oh, Ross Clyde. Oh my god.
Honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now, if they somehow beat the Celtics, our 24-0 start might actually be in jeopardy.
That's fucking crazy, bro.
The Warriors 24-0 start could be in real jeopardy if they beat
Bro,
us.
they're facing a bunch of bad teams, bro. It's like you you know what's crazy is that the NBA went through all of this fucking bullshit, right? All of this nonsense to have just one conference just being so terrible. Like if I get on playback, like and I watch like the first couple of games, bro, like, can y'all like actually sit through some of these games? Like, bro, the only reason I'm sitting through these games is because I got parlays on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only reason why. You know what I'm saying? Like outside of that, how the hell are you fans of these teams, bro? Like, how are you watching teams that are not the Warriors? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you watching basketball? Because I'm watching some ugly basketball in the Eastern Conference, bro. It is horrendous. How are people watching this nonsense? Bro, like there's some terrible teams out there, and it's like, yeah, Cleveland is a good team. I'm not taking anything away from them, but have you seen these other teams? They're fucking awful. And then every night I watch we get to like 7 o'clock now, 6 o'clock. And then I'm just watching a gauntlet in the Western Conference. Like, what league got to do something about this, bro. Like, I don't understand. And this shit has been going on for like 20 years now. Like, why? It's crazy. So I don't know, man. Like,
The West has been so unforgiving for like my entire lifetime.
yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
So
Ever since, and honestly, I think it's ever since MJ retired that the East has just looked this awful. Would you agree?
bro,
It's
like
just like just compare it to the West teams all those years back. since MJ retired. Like it's just been juggernaut after juggernaut after juggernaut, and most of them have been winning finals. Like you got the Lakers dynasty, you got the Spurs dynasty, and then the Warriors came up. Like, dude, like even all the teams that didn't win in the West, like all of those teams were fucking good.
Yeah. So outside of that, right? And I'm just looking at these other teams, right? So we're going to get to a point now where it's going to be us. All right. So right now, here's the top 6. It's OKC, us, the Rockets, Phoenix, the Lakers, and then Denver, right? Now, who the hell out of all of those teams, right? So say the playoffs started today and OKC would have played Memphis, we would have played Minnesota. We're in a first round series with Minnesota, for instance, right? Do you think Minnesota beats us? Like honestly,
What the way they are playing? No.
that's bro. Like they
Yeah,
made the
they
West
don't. They
Finals last year.
no shot. No shot. They regressed in a lot of ways.
All
Well,
right, Dre.
compare
So
this to the East. Like compare this to the East, dude. The 5th seed in the East is under 500 right now.
so
Are
hear
you
me out on
fucking
this,
kidding
right?
me?
So say we get to the second round, right? And we go up and say like a team like say Houston or Phoenix or something. Like, what's the advantage that they have over us in a playoff series?
They probably have a better scoring ring in
Bro.
Anthony Edwards. That's probably it. Like I said, better scoring wing.
Dog.
Not a better defensive wing. Just a
Anthony
score.
Edwards. Anthony Edwards is not out playmaking Steph Curry in the series. I'm sorry. Like, it ain't happening.
Oh, of course not.
I watched what he was doing in the playoffs last year. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, and that's what got them because he couldn't play make.
Right? So I'm just looking at the shit and I'm like, I don't see what other people see in terms of saying the conference is a gauntlet and all of this shit. Like last season was bullshit. This is like the way that I see them calling it now, this is real basketball, right? The shit that I see OKC doing to teams on a nightly basis, that's how I want to see it. I want to see tough physical point of attack